Welcome to the Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today. If you're a focused learner who just loves getting straight to the facts, well, you're definitely in the right place. Okay, let's just dive right into this. Look, practically everywhere you turn right now, people are talking about the jobs that artificial intelligence is going to destroy, right? It's all over the news, it's flooding our social feeds, and honestly, it's a huge point of anxiety for a lot of people. But here's the thing. Almost nobody is talking about the massive, highly lucrative, and entirely new industries that AI is actively creating as we speak. So in this explainer, we're going to completely cut through all that panic and count down the top 10 careers that will absolutely explode in demand because of AI.
It's completely natural to look at a generative AI tool like ChatGPT or whatever else you might use and wonder, hey, is this going to take my job? Totally fair question. But let's immediately flip the script on that. The World Economic Forum actually projects that while, yes, 92 million jobs will be displaced by automation by 2030, a staggering 170 million new jobs will be created. I mean, that is a massive net positive. So the real question isn't whether there will be work for us. The question is what that work is actually going to look like. See, AI doesn't just automate. It augments. It takes over all those routine, repetitive tasks, which actually ends up increasing the value of uniquely human traits.
We are officially entering the era of the new-collar worker. According to research from Bell Labs Consulting, digital transformation isn't just about replacing workers at all. It's really about reimagining how we work through human augmentation. Get this, by 2030, it's projected that 70% of the entire labor market will be dominated by these new-collar roles. These are professionals who seamlessly blend cognitive, physical, and digital skills. They aren't just sitting in front of screens all day, and they aren't just doing traditional manual labor either. They're literally using AI to deliver much higher performance across the board.
All right, let's kick off the countdown with careers 10 through 8, the human touch and data foundations.
Coming in at number 10, we have empathy-driven careers, and we're talking specifically about healthcare, social work, and education. Now, AI is incredible at drafting visit notes, processing insurance claims, and analyzing raw data. But when that heavy administrative burden finally vanishes, those professionals are freed up to hyper-focus on genuine human connection. In fact, a recent JAMA Network study proved that empathy significantly improves clinical outcomes, like actually reducing chronic pain. As AI handles the endless paperwork, we are going to see a massive surge in demand for therapists, social workers, and educators. These roles require incredibly high emotional intelligence and active listening skills. And because this kind of high-value, deeply human care literally cannot be automated, the salary potential in these specialized fields is steadily rising.
Moving on to number 9, we've got the Robot Relationship Manager and AI Interaction Designer. Honestly, it sounds a little like sci-fi, but it is very real. As factories and tech firms deploy more cobots, which are basically collaborative robots that physically work right next to humans, they desperately need specialists to manage that dynamic. In this role, you aren't just fixing the machine, you're managing the entire human-robot workflow. You might even be designing the personality of an AI agent to make it as frictionless and friendly as possible. It's this fascinating bridge that requires a totally unique mix of behavioral psychology, UX design, and systems engineering. If you can observe how humans react to machines and ensure a safe, really productive environment, you are easily looking at starting salaries crossing the six-figure mark.
Taking the 8th spot is the data curator and labeler. Here's a secret. AI does not think on its own. It just doesn't. It is entirely dependent on data that has been meticulously organized, cleansed, and tagged with semantic meaning by humans. We are the teachers. If you want an AI to understand the nuance of a really complex legal document or accurately read a medical X-ray, well, a human expert has to label thousands of examples first. This requires extreme attention to detail and deep subject matter expertise. It is quickly becoming a massive global industry, with specialized domain-specific data curators commanding anywhere from $60,000 to $90,000 just to lay that vital groundwork for enterprise AI.
Let's keep moving. Careers 7 through 5, physical infrastructure and workflows.
107%. That is a staggering number. That's the actual spike in demand for robotics technicians just since late 2022. Because, despite all the fancy cloud algorithms and virtual processing, AI still hasn't figured out how to plug itself in. The digital revolution actually requires a massive physical foundation. Generative AI models need enormous data centers to operate, and we need robots to maintain those massive server farms.
And that perfectly sets up career number 7, the skilled trades renaissance. We are witnessing an incredible demand for digital-first skilled trades. For example, Demand for HVAC engineers, who are desperately needed to install and maintain all those complex cooling systems for AI data centers, is up 67%. Data center construction roles, up 30%. This is actually creating what experts call a labor flip. According to Randstad data, it now takes an average of 56 days to hire a skilled trade worker compared to just 54 days for a traditional knowledge worker. Blending mechanical aptitude with advanced digital diagnostics is completely turning the trades into highly specialized, incredibly lucrative new-collar positions that easily pay well over $100,000.
At number 6, we have the AI workflow designer. Look, it's one thing for a company to just buy an AI tool. It is a completely different thing to actually use it effectively. Workflow designers come in, examine how a company currently operates, and literally redesign their daily processes to maximize human-AI teamwork. They are master problem solvers who use process mapping and systems thinking, and they routinely earn upwards of $110,000. Right next to that, at number 5, is the cognitive copywriter. When a customer talks to an AI chatbot, it shouldn't sound like a clunky generic machine, right? Cognitive copywriters blend creative writing with user experience and logic trees to craft a highly specific brand voice for that AI interface. It sits right at that sweet spot between technology and marketing, offering salaries ranging from $80,000 all the way up to $120,000.
We're getting close to the top. Careers 4 through 2, compliance, climate, and scaling. Securing the number 4 spot is the AI compliance specialist and model risk auditor. As AI gets more and more powerful, governments are absolutely stepping in. Major regulations like the EU AI Act and the NIST frameworks in the US are essentially forcing companies to prove that their AI is safe. So companies are desperate for auditors who can evaluate these algorithms for hidden bias, prevent the spread of deepfakes, protect user data privacy, and ensure strict legal compliance across the board. I mean, a single algorithm error can result in massive, company-ending legal risks. If you have a background in law, cybersecurity, or risk management, you can step into this incredibly vital corporate role and easily command a 6-figure salary from day one.
Our number 3 career is the AI Sustainability Manager. And wow, these professionals are commanding incredibly lucrative salaries right now, ranging anywhere from $120,000 to $190,000 a year, and honestly, often much more. Here's the fascinating paradox they have to solve. AI is amazing at analyzing data to help companies cut their overall carbon emissions, right? But training the AI models themselves consumes massive amounts of electricity and water. The AI Sustainability Manager balances this out. They use skills in carbon accounting, data science, and environmental policy to ensure that the environmental benefits of using the AI actually outweigh the immense energy costs of running it.
Breaking into the top tier at number 2, we have the MLOps engineer. That's machine learning operations. The market for this is just exploding, going from $3.8 billion in 2021 to a projected $21.1 billion by 2026. So why such a massive leap? Well, building a machine learning model on your laptop in a controlled environment is relatively easy, but deploying that model to millions of users in the real world, constantly monitoring it for weird errors, and retraining it with live data, that is incredibly difficult. Requiring deep skills in Python, software engineering, and cloud architecture, MLOps engineers are the critical bridge making enterprise AI actually functional. And that sky-high demand is pushing their salaries well past $150,000. And now, drumroll please, the number 1 biggest AI opportunity. Taking the crown at number 1 is the AI ethicist, sometimes referred to as an intelligence designer. Think of it this way. If AI engineers are the builders, AI ethicists are the architects of conscience. They look at the huge big picture stuff and continuously ask the really hard, necessary business questions. Questions like, is this system biased? Could it accidentally harm a specific demographic? Are its decisions transparent enough to keep us out of a massive lawsuit? As AI moves away from isolated little apps to a massive, interconnected corporate brain, the AI ethicist ensures that the technology remains safe and functional for human society. To start in this field, you usually need a really unique blend of philosophy, law, or sociology mixed right in with tech policy. And to put into perspective just how big this is, McKinsey reports that there are more than 100,000 positions opening each year for professionals with AI ethics expertise. And get this, they are among the absolute hardest to fill today. Finding someone with that rare blend of technical understanding combined with deep knowledge of social policy and human-centered design, it's incredibly difficult. But if you can master both the technology and the societal impact, you become absolutely indispensable to executive leadership. Your career potential there is virtually limitless.
So how do you actually prepare for all this by 2030?
If you're wondering how to actually position yourself to land one of these explosive roles, here are 3 actionable steps you can start taking right now. First, build a dual foundation. Look, you do not need a PhD in computer science to do this. You just need basic data literacy. Maybe dabble in some Python or SQL, and combine that with an understanding of human-centered design. Second, aggressively develop your critical thinking and empathy. AI cannot navigate complex trade-offs, and it certainly cannot genuinely connect with human emotions. But you can. And third, gain practical hands-on experience. Just start using AI tools, build a workflow, go label some data. Employers want to see that you can solve real-world problems, not just list a bunch of trendy keywords on a resume.
I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. Your next job, it might not even have a name yet. The pace of change right now is exactly that fast. But the skills required to excel, things like adaptability, ethical reasoning, deep problem solving, and a true willingness to blend human ingenuity with machine efficiency, those are already crystal clear. The jobs aren't disappearing, guys. They're just evolving. So the question is, are you ready to become a new-collar worker and claim your place in the AI economy? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly, highly encourage you to start upskilling today. See you next time.